is making a comeback.
The attorneys general in New York and the District of Columbia are going hard after the largest gun lobby in America, the National Rifle Association. Both have filed civil suits against the NRA. These suits on the cusp of the presidential election could mean a huge blow to Donald Trump in November and against gun rights advocates that could last a generation. Liberty Nation's legal affairs editor Scott Cosenza is all over this story and joins us now with the latest. Welcome to True TV, Scott.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you.
So what's this all about?
This is all about what seems to be two progressive prosecutors using the power of their office to hobble one of the most potent forces that could hand a win to Donald Trump in November. I think that's some speculation, but the timing seems to indicate that.
All right, don't you find this an odd time, politically speaking, to try to take down the NRA, especially when Americans are buying guns in record numbers this year? I was just talking to a hairstylist, and she said she went out and bought a gun, and when she went into the gun store, it was packed.
I think that's probably true if you're looking at politics nationally or with a mind towards the presidential race. But another thing that these attorneys general have been able to do is elevate themselves politically. And so they may not be thinking in terms of the timing with whether it's the most beneficial there, but for the perception of their own political futures. If they can be perceived by certain elements nationally of aiding this effort, well, then they get a lot of checks and a lot of attention. And we have a New York politician and a DC politician. So their constituencies, presumably, Lisa, are already kind of foaming anti-gunners.
All right, is this an effort to shut Trump up about the Second Amendment because it makes him look dirty to be associated with the NRA?
I think that's probably just icing on the cake, Lisa. The effort for Donald Trump to kind of defend the assault against the NRA and the free speech attack, that will just be basically called more politics rather than a genuine effort to defend basically their civil rights. So yeah, it's a twofer.
All right, is the NRA fighting back with a lawsuit of their own?
They have filed a lawsuit. Now, strictly speaking, what they've filed is a kind of checklist sheet that you file before you file a lawsuit. So we don't yet have all the information they may allege, but their filing of the lawsuit itself, Lisa, as I write in the pages of LibertyNation.com, may be part of the conspiracy, which is to say all of the calories burned, money spent, and effort. This has no doubt been an all hands on deck 24-hour type affair for them to respond to, which of course is time they're not spending advancing the interests of the Americans who they represent.
What did the suits allege, Scott? I know you're in the weeds, but I'm not sure our viewers know every little jot and tittle.
Basically, what the suit alleges is that Wayne LaPierre and three people that he controlled at the head of the National Rifle Association used member funds inappropriately, whether it was through kind of loop back ways of getting money into their own pockets in ways they wouldn't otherwise be able to, or luxury, ultra luxury private jet travel, indeed, for Mr. LaPierre's family when he wasn't even accompanying them, for instance. And they've asked the court, Letitia James has asked the court to legally extinguish the NRA because she says that the four people who've spent inappropriately, that's the correct remedy for the membership. In other words, she's saying that she's representing the membership in this regard, and to do the best thing for them in light of these troubles is to extinguish the organization. And that's what is so outrageous about the actions, Lisa.
All right, so just to be clear, they're not suing the NRA proper, they're suing the NRA 501c3 Foundation.
So it's a double hit. The Attorney General for New York is suing the NRA, which was incorporated in New York, and the Attorney General for Washington, D.C. is suing the NRA Charitable Foundation, which was incorporated in Washington, D.C. And they're using their powers as kind of the overseers of incorporated entities in those states to launch these suits.
All right, but you're a lawyer, but you're also an NRA member, and frankly, so am I. So what do you make of this as a member?
I consider it an assault on my free speech rights as an American and an attempt to hobble the people that I've elevated to be a voice for me to say that I wish to maintain my rights to keep and bear arms and defend them. And I think that the Trump administration should at least investigate the possibility that these two Soros-aligned prosecutors who promised during their campaigns to discriminate against the NRA and gun owners are doing just that, not for legally permissible reasons, but for impermissible political ones.
Sounds like dirty tricks, Scott.
Sure does.
Thanks. That's Liberty Nation's legal affairs editor, Scott Cosenza, Esquire. Thanks for joining us on Truth TV today, Scott.
Keep your powder dry.
Truth is making a comeback.